Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos. Another paid request. It's time for Guillermo. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. It'll be for topic, tier list, any kind of list, a ranking, review, commentary, video game playthrough, what have you. So Guillermo wanted me to watch and review VHS 85, which came out in 2023. Now, the VHS franchise, I never thought it'd be a franchise that would have, what, at this point, 6 movies now? I do not like the first one. In fact, I call the first one VHS more like very horrible shit. I do like the second one, for the most part. Don't like the first story, but the other stories I like. The cult one in particular. VHS Viral, I like the skateboarding segment, that's it. The rest of it, very one of the weaker ones. VHS 94 seemed a bit more consistent compared to Viral. I did like this one that felt a bit like Doom. But the others, to be honest, I don't remember what the others were. And VHS 99, the last one, I did not like. I thought it seemed more random. It the 99 just seemed like it was just picked out of thin air. It could have been any year. There's barely reference to it, and not much else. And that's the one with the stupid children TV show thing where later on the host got kidnapped, and this whole stupid thing with his family, and these pervert kids are looking at a woman, but then she's a Gorgon, turn him into stone with some really bad CGI. Yeah, the punk band beginning, which was completely useless. This I thought was a much uh, big was much better. I thought it was a step up. I still have issues with the film. I still don't love every segment, but this was one of the more consistently interesting, and I would say one of the better ones in the franchise. In fact, I'd probably say it's the best one in consistency since VHS 2. Because, number one, they really showcased the 1985 aspect in terms of the way it looks. It looks like VHS from back in the day. Granted, a lot of times they overdo it where all that fuzz. There was fuzz back in the day. Don't get me wrong, and don't get me don't get me wrong. Thankfully, this movie didn't give me the runs. Don't get me wrong. When you're recording the old footage, there's tracking, those issues, but a lot of times they overdo it. But at the same time, idea is trying to sell the illusion, even if it's going over the top on it. But the way people looked, the way the video quality, I appreciated that. I'm like, okay, that makes sense for VHS. For an anthology called VHS, this seems like VHS tapes you would find. It was always weird on, oh, well, this is from, okay, someone got it from a camera in someone's eye, or glasses, and then they took it and they put on a VHS. This does seem like these were tapes found on VHS tape, and we're seeing them for the first time. Why it took the 6-1 to do that, I don't know. Because then one was 94, one was 99. Viral felt like just modern time. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I like, we're flipping through channels, things of that nature. The Wraparound, I think, is the best Wraparound of the franchise because it's trying to do an in search of type of show where the scientists found some figure at this mountain named Rory, and they have it isolated, they're studying it, and it will watch TV. You have this narrator that will say lines like, he's as American as a Happy Meal. And he's interviewing people. And when we get to a story, it cuts back to that, thus part of the wraparound. And the reason I say that I think it's the best wraparound is the one that tells a more consistent story. Like I said, the aesthetics, even when it's going through transformations, it looks low budget, like a VHS shot on video film in the 80s. Yeah, I'm a sucker for that. The way it looks, the aesthetic, I think is a big plus for the film. If you don't care about that, then you might not like this as much as I did. But I'm a sucker for that aesthetic. Maybe because I miss that aesthetic, since I see so many movies nowadays that look so clean that almost makes me yearn for the opposite. And throughout it, one person has the brains to be like, no, this is stupid, and she leaves. And she warns, like, I don't know why they didn't leave. I wish they would have come with me. So it's not like everyone dies, except the ones who deserve it. And when I look through the stories, there's not one that I hated, and there's two that I thought were rather good. And there's probably, I want to say, one, two, three, let's see, not counting the wraparound, I would say one, two, three, four, five, probably five. It's a bit under 2 hours. And the first story I thought started off fairly well, because I'm sitting there going, I wish this first story was a full movie. Where it's kids, or I should say teenagers, well, I don't know, even teenagers, they may be a bit older. Anyway, they're going on a trip, they go to a lake, and they're water skiing, and then all of a sudden there's a sniper. And then, I don't know if I want to give it away. It's an interesting idea that happens. And that's why I kind of wish there was a full-length movie, because I would love to have seen this idea flourished even more so. Because there's that. There's a story about Mexican news crew where there's a earthquake that happens, and then rusty workers are helping the cameraman try to go through this area with all this debris falling around. There's a performance artist in the small theater that's railing against technology and has this like 80s type of VR set. And the audience sees what she's seeing, which looks like graphics from, I don't know if I want to say Tron, but that kind of old computer graphics. Scott Derrickson, who did The Black Phone, who did Doctor Strange, who did Deliver Us from Evil, he had the best one called Dream Kill. That one is easily one of the best segments of the entire franchise. Easily. At least to me. At least, I'll say one of my favorites. So, again, the spoilers starting now. Like I said, the first segment I did like because I didn't mind the friends. I thought they worked rather decently with each other. That's why I wish we could have seen more of them to get more development of these characters. I like the one guy that's doing a Macho Man Randy Savage impression. I wish he did more of that. So again, they get on the boat, the water skiing. One of their friends falls. They check on her. She's bleeding. And then another one of their friends gets hit in the jaw. Most of her jaw taken off. They get down. They're getting shot at. They get killed. But then they wake up and they're like, what the hell's going on here? And some of them are still alive. And they come to find out that the water, whether it be they put some water in a water gun and they drank some of it, or they fell in the water, they are alive because of that. And the friends who didn't get in it or didn't drink, they're dead. So you have them kind of trying to figure it out and being confused, and like one guy's trying to keep his guts in, one guy's like his head was pieces of brains on the back. This poor lady, they try to keep her jaw straight, and she's like freaked out because of the way she looks, but they're not dead. And then they're gonna go find who did this and get revenge. And I'm sitting there going, this is such a cool idea. I wish that was a whole movie. 15, 20 minutes to develop the characters. We have the insane incident. We create a bit more suspense. Then they die. Then this happens. And then have like this full-length revenge scenario. Now, a couple stories after this, there is a sequel to it. And I'll just jump to that. Because you see, it's supposed to be a surprise. That's why I said spoilers, heavy spoilers. Where this girl is having this celebration, like a birthday party type of celebration, but it's inauguration. Her family's all excited and happy, and they're part of this figure called the Seven, which was something the kids at the first story saw painted with blood on the vehicle. And apparently this family has a tradition of, when the time's right, to kill 7 people. In this case, she filmed it on my brand new VHS recorder. But then the cops come, and they're wondering and there's a bit of a shootout. Granted, you don't see a whole lot during it. Like, you don't see really any of the cops, and yeah, it's not going to be any big choreographed shootout sequence. Well, the lady who's the sniper kills herself, but then she's awake, and she's like, what the hell's going on? She tries it again, it doesn't work. Well, earlier in that story, a kid stirred her with this gun, saying, oh, it's the lady in the RV gave it to me. Now, I don't know how they knew, number one, that was, of all the family, that was the one who did it. Maybe they looked at the footage and they saw her. But at the same time, I don't see, we saw the recording, we didn't see her maybe I missed it. So I don't know how they knew that when they give the squirt gun to the kid, it would get that specific girl. But it's not like the kid squirted, everybody with the squirt gun. And granted, that's a smarter type of revenge. Call the cops on them, let the cops do their business, and thankfully that kid squirt gunned the right person. Again, maybe it was on footage that we didn't see, but this, because we wouldn't have seen it before, because it would have been a spoiler for later on. They got the license plate, so they knew the area. Well, actually, now that I think about it, if they looked at the license plate, maybe they would have the person's name, so it would be the person driving it. So maybe that's how. Although in 1985, or whatever, I wonder how that worked. Like how they got who they talked to look at the license plate. Like, do they have a police officer who's a buddy, who's a friend? Can you do me a favor? See this lady? See her jaw? Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think about it too much. So it's nice that, wow, people almost, people got killed but they're alive, and they're able to get this revenge in a smarter way. So this lady can't die, and she's caught. So she's going to be in jail for the rest of her life, and she can't die. So that's a hell of a punishment. To be fair, that's actually a more fitting punishment, to be in jail for the rest of your life. And hell, they gave her the electric chair. If they do that, she was not going to be able to die. So they're going to keep doing it until maybe they put a flamethrower up her ass. So granted, I kind of wish for more of a hands-on revenge. But yeah, I still thought it was interesting to have two stories linked to each other, because none of the other ones had done that I can remember. And for the bad guy, they get their comeuppance, and some of the people to be alive. So now everybody dies. I mean, it goes against the whole found footage thing, and that made it refreshing. Again, I might have little nitpicks here and there, like I mentioned, but I'm like, okay, I like that. I like that felt different. Like I said, it felt refreshing. So that was the first story, and the fourth story. They're connected. And again, in between these stories, you keep having this In Search Of type of. In Search Of was a show back in the day. Leonard Nimoy. I think Leonard Nimoy had narrated it at one point. And it's a mysterious circumstances or mysterious things, and again they're interviewing people from this university who are studying this. At times, the creature is transforming, so it has this stuff on it and it's changing. You see its shape, and again, it does look like a low budget VHS movie from the 80s, which I think is its intention. I appreciate there was one person that said screw it, I quit, and she left. Again, at least have one smart person in there. And then at the end is, well, sorry, sadly something happened with this people, but we can't show you the footage. Then it cuts to someone found the footage, and here you go, you get to see it. So the news crew didn't die, and that one lady didn't. So I didn't. It's refreshing that not everybody dies at the end. I know that's most cliches for found footage, but it's nice when you change it up like that. Now, the second story, the Mexican news crew, that one I thought was the weakest one. I would say for me it was the weakest one. Also, the copy I saw for some reason had those subtitles. I'm assuming it's supposed to have subtitles, but for some reason the one I had those subtitles. I don't know why. The copy I saw. But I still understood what was going on. It's just they're talking in Espanol, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. But it's a news crew, cameraman, lady talking to the camera. There's an earthquake. The cameraman survives. A couple rescue crew members come by. They grab the guy, and most of it is pretty much them going through a building, going through this place here and there. Debris is falling. Okay, I'll give credit that it's trying to be a bit more of a disaster movie type of element. But at the same time, you can only do so much when it's a part of a VHS anthology, found footage anthology. So you can only see so much, you can only experience so much. So I don't think it was that exciting. At one point, someone gets impaled, and they have to do a mercy killing on them because they can't get them out. They go through a crawl space, and they get into this cave where there's a statue of this Aztec god. And it possesses someone, and it kills another one, and then, I don't know, the person possessed, there's this figure behind them. I thought it looked a bit goofy. I thought it looked a bit silly. And I don't even know how to describe this figure. It's kind of like a statue coming to life, but not really. I don't know. And yeah, I thought it looked kind of goofy. I don't think the effects were that great. And then the one girl gets possessed, kills the guy, rips his heart out. The last shot is her praising the Aztec god. And it cuts to footage outside of the news, another news reporter. The devastation of today in this city will never be forgotten. Because I looked that part up to see what she said. So again, the review of the monster just felt goofy. The characters, maybe because I couldn't understand what they were saying, but even just visually, it didn't seem like there was anything of note. There's always so much where you go, a little bit debris falling, go, a little bit debris falling. That I did not care for at all. I thought that was, again, the weakest of the bunch. TKNOGD, I just for Techno God. This one I wasn't for at first, but I thought the ending kind of saved it. You have this lady who's a performance artist who's being very hammy. I think that's the point though, but she's being very ham-fisted. Who believes in God, but you did this. You worship on the new altar of this technology, the God technology. And she shows footage of this guy that created these iPhones. That's what he calls this big visor thing. Kind of looks like the stuff you would see in Lawnmower Man or stuff. And a techno glove. Might as be the power glove. So she puts it on, and there's an audience that sees what she sees on the screen. Where I appreciate that the environment on the screen looked like something you would see in those 80s movies where they show the remnants of a computer. Again, a little bit of Tron or a little bit of, whatever the case may be. So I appreciate the old school graphics. And even she calls to this god and, come on, show yourself. And then this kind of Medusa looking creature comes by. And I can't complain that it looks like crap CG because it's supposed to look like Last Starfighter, that. Because I love the Last Starfighter. The CG, it doesn't hold up the best because it was 1984. So I think that's what they're going for with this creature. Like, it looks. So I get the look of it with the time period. And you have some good gore. I mean, it's attacking her, and she takes her off her glove, and there's no hand. And on the screen, you see it rip her leg, and in real life, her leg's been stripped. The other leg gets pulled off. People don't know what this is. They think it's part of the performance ad, so they clap. I kind of laughed at that. Then someone looks up, pulls up the helmet, and you see like her eyes are here. Her brain has been melded into the helmet. That felt like the shortest of the stories, and again, I thought the gore was kind of fun. Again, the lead was being hammy, but I'm guessing that was on purpose. And like I said, I thought the gore and even the kind of setup with the old computer graphics, that I didn't mind that. So that was the third story, and then the fourth one was the one with you find out who the sniper's family was. You have this one cousin she has with a crazy mullet, like Joe Dirt. Like I said, that one I wish there was a bit more into the choreography of the shootout. Because you don't see, I don't know, it just felt like you didn't see as much as you should have. Although you have this big overweight lady grabbing this machine gun and da 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 da. That almost made me laugh. But I say last story because after we finished the wraparound, but the last story was the best one, so they definitely saved the best for last. It was one called Dreamkill, directed by Scott Derrickson. That one I could see being a whole movie as well. And it does star Freddy Rodriguez from Planet Terror, among other stuff, as his detective. Because you see footage of home invasion, as Scott Derrickson knows how to direct it to be very, very fucking creepy. With the sound design and the music he puts, because we see this poor woman, we hear the 911 call, we see the killer grab an electric knife. You see enough, but again, the way the guy edited it, or the way the film is edited, that segment, it doesn't okay, I'm going to go at your eye, I'll cut your eye. You see how gory this is? It's more like you get these flashes and you see a bit, And you think, well, wait a minute, how does that work well on a VHS tape? Well, the title tells you it. But then these two detectives are looking at the stream. One is supposed to be, recording stuff for evidence, while Fred Rodriguez is the other detective. And it's like, wait a minute, I saw this tape. I got sent a tape of this a week ago. Then there's a second murder, which that was really creepy. Again, because you don't hear anything, but you have this very creepy, again, music and sound design, where the killer's like beating the hell out of the guy and throwing him around and beating the shit out of him. And I'm like, I don't know how to describe it. Just the way he was done, just very creepy, very spooky. I did just the sound design, the music. And so the detective, Freddy Rodriguez, goes, okay, well, maybe someone's sending these in the mail. Okay, let me track this package and where did it come from and what mailbox did it come from. And okay, let's have a camera there. They catch the kid. It's very goth, like total goth. Like, the typical cliche where it's like black all around and crazy hair and wearing all black. But I like that he's actually, the good guy. This kid, normally he'd be looked at as the freak or the villain, but no. And he talks about how he had these dreams. Like he was watching TV, he got this video recorder, and all of a sudden they would appear on the TV. So his dreams and nightmares are being recorded onto there. That's why the editing is the way it is. The one aspect I did not like is Fred Rodriguez finds out who's doing it. It's his partner, the guy with the camera. Fred Rodriguez is shot in the head. I did not like that. I don't think they needed to kill him off. But the ending was really good because the guy who's got the camera is the father of that kid. And he's going to the police station. And so the kid realizes that, wait a minute, his images are also on this camera as well. So it'll cut to a security footage and it'll cut to what the dream is recording. And you get this shootout where cops are shooting and this guy turns around and blows someone's head off and done practically. I did like a shot on video action film until ultimately the kid gets the gun and shoots his dad in the head. I think what you could have done is Freddy Rodriguez, other cops are being killed, and Freddy's trying to shoot, and he can't quite get it. He gets wounded, and then the kid saves Freddy Rodriguez. I would have preferred that. But again, that's the one thing, because other than that, I like the concept. The dream scenes are very creepy. I know people liked his film Sinister. I actually like this a lot more than the film Sinister. But I can understand how people feel about those footage scenes being creepy. I just, the way they feel with Sinister, I felt with this one. Just before he directed that film as well. But I like Scott Derrickson as a director. I'm not a fan of Sinister, but I like Deliverance from Evil. I like The Black Phone. And I guess actually this is connected with The Black Phone. Because the kid, the father, when he's talking to Fred Rodriguez before the shit hits the fan, mentions that the kid has a cousin who could also see things. I think the cousin he mentions is the girl in The Black Phone who saw that her brother was in trouble. So I guess Scott Derrickson decided, well, I'm going to make kind of a little side story to The Black Phone. But not reference it too much so I don't get sued. But I like the concept. It doesn't end on a downer note where the kid I mean, he has to kill his father, but he does what he needs to do. It's a hell of a way to end it. You have some nice action at the end. You have some pretty decent gore. You have some effectively creepy sequences. So again, other than Freddy Rodriguez, I wish they would have done stuff different with his character. But I still, I mean, it's like Leviathan. I wish they had done things with Ernie Hudson's character at the end differently, but I still love Leviathan. And I still liked this one. I thought, again, this is one of the better segments in the whole franchise. And that's a strong way to end it. And then you do the wraparound where I did the one lady had left and warned the scientists, but the others were stubborn and stayed, and she left, so she's alive, and they are looked in and they see that this thing's transforming, and the guy goes in and these tendrils attack them, and the creature attacks the others with these tendrils, and they get their just desserts for studying this thing. I guess also this thing liked to watch exercise, like jazzercise. So the last shot where the camera falls is kind of doing this to make two of the bodies mimic what's on TV, the jazzercise. I thought that was kind of funny. And like I said, the music, the aesthetic, the look, like this actually makes sense with the VHS title. So yeah, I thought this was one of the better ones. Like I said, I did not like the Mexican crew, the earthquake one. I thought really, I can't. Stuff happens, but just I didn't think it was that interesting. Techno God, the beginning I wasn't sure on, but I like the gory ending. The first story I enjoyed. I wish that was longer. Like I said, the first story and the last story could have been their own films. And again, the wraparound, again, compared to other wraparounds in this franchise, had a bit more intrigue to it. So, yeah, this one was actually one of the better ones. I was decently surprised. I'll give you that. So, not bad. Not bad. At least in my opinion. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.